Well, there goes another
Just
third
trying
of
to
the
get all the
population.
technology turned on here.
Or Cuba.
Yes.
Oh.
I just couldn't get this one. It was not cooperating.
Is Brad planning on being here, do you know?
No.
He's not.
Hey, Dave, you got that paper?
Got that at 6 o'clock this morning. Oh, you didn't read the emails from mine, did you?
I didn't get it.
I
didn't get it.
I didn't look. Okay. We'll start off here with public comments. If there's any online.
It doesn't look like there's any public online.
We have no public here in the meeting room, so we'll move on to, we have payday next. Do we want to do the agenda approval first?
Whatever you would like.
Okay.
Agenda approval's great.
Yeah, let's do that so I get my things accomplished here that I want to do here. I have 2 executive sessions to add down under Road and Bridge. First one will be a 10-minute executive session. Second will be a 5-minute executive session between Road and Bridge and the public comments at the end and county commission comments. And then since Brad's not going to be here, Tina, I want to steal some administrative time with you after you get done with your administrative business. I have a question from the Fair Board that I'd like to present to the commission and see what we can do about it to help them or how the board feels about it. So, okay. So,
Are the executive sessions for personnel?
personnel, yes, both of them. Yeah, personnel performance. Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we'll just take that, the agenda approval out of there. I'll let you get busy with payday then. Then we'll go to, after you do that, we'll do administrative business.
Okay. We do have the sales tax in the amount of $74,653.56. And then the total payables is $1,250,349.83. And you do have invoices from Western Associates and Alcon.
Okay. Before we get through the whole thing, I'd make a motion to, let's see, this 1648 is to,
Sorry, that would be for Alcon, I believe.
is that for
Oh,
Alcon?
hold on.
Yes.
Yes, 1648.38.
Yeah, $1,648, I'd make a motion to approve that, $1,648.38 for Alcon.
Second.
Have a second by Kent. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those abstain?
Aye.
1. Jonah. I'd also make a motion to approve $3,566.37 for Western Associates.
Second.
Second.
Second, Dave Miller.
Second by Dave Mueller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those abstain?
Aye.
Aye, Dave Profit. With that, then I would make a motion to approve the $1,250,349.83. Second. Second by Jonah. All those in favor say aye.
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 Are we taking any questions?
Yo,
Yeah.
do we have, I'm trying to hurry things along, but.
No, I just had a couple of them.
Let's get those questions right out here before we take,
Before you sign?
before we sign, yes.
About that, okay.
Page 5, that window payment, are we about done with
I
that?
believe that's the last one.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
So that frees up 80-some thousand, which is a good thing.
which we have moved in the budget and absorbed to use for other
Okay.
things
Yeah.
for next year.
And page 13, Taylor College health reimbursement.
I'm short on unless it's.
That's from the COVID expansion
That's what I was gonna
grant.
say, COVID deal.
But
Well, I
I
figured that's what it was.
can pull that board and you can look at that
I
invoice.
just,
For the building?
Let me get the board.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
see.
Does anybody know who M&T Cleaning is?
Yeah, Vindusca's Joe,
Okay.
Joe and Tish. They're always around here working.
They're under contract.
They're
Dave.
contract labor.
Yeah,
Okay,
contract
we
labor.
just- we're gonna submit different little papers, okay.
Yeah.
What, did you have another question while I'm looking for this?
He just wondered who M&T Cleaning was, and we just explained to him it was Joe and them.
Mhm.
Contract, they are contract labor. Correct?
Yes, correct. It says, purchase, it's reimbursement to Tabor College for purchase of COVID testing program from Viviture Inc., Dallas, Texas, and it's paid for from an expanded testing grant. So Tabor paid for that, and then the health department reimbursed that through their
For the
grant.
extra kids.
That was through their grant then?
Yes, through one of the grants that they've
Okay.
gotten, okay?
Yeah, Dieter did say there's some more tests,
Excuse your chairman this morning for not asking for questions. Is there any more questions that we can ask now that we have the book here?
Don't worry, we'll set you straight.
No, thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you, Tina, for getting that.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a question for next month. I'll save it for next month.
What day next month?
Payday next month.
Okay.
Wow.
That's planning ahead.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
I'm gonna bet he can't keep it quiet, and he's gonna have to ask it sometime or another.
Used to say he thought ahead, but it just meant he was looking forward to Friday. Have to send yourself a timed email.
It happens to
How do
me
you
when I
do
go
that?
I'll go to
So
the
that it
living
sends
room
it
to
to
the
you on that
bedroom,
day.
and I know I went
How do you
back
do
there
that?
for some reason, but I get back there and I'm like, why did I go back in?
I used to try to fill out.
Then you go
the
sit back
electronic
down and then you remember.
calendar. You get up and get one, I'd pull it
Yeah.
up, it'd be like 3 letters and it cut the rest off and I couldn't remember what it was. Okay.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, sorry to keep stepping there, I'm trying to get something in here for you. Okay, have the minutes of August 23rd.
Make a motion to approve August 23rd minutes.
Second. Second by Dave Mueller, motion by Jonah. Is there any questions? With no questions, we have a motion by Jonah, second by Dave. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
Okay, and I will have those for you shortly, Jeremy. In your packet, you have a proclamation for declaring the month of September National Preparedness Month for Marion County.
Any comments? Do you do this every year? Or just-
I think we have done it before. I didn't look back to see how often we've done
Right.
it.
So, do we need a motion on it?
Yes.
Do I hear that from the commission?
I'll make the motion that we adopt the proclamation declaring September National Preparedness Month.
Okay, I have a motion by Dave Crowfoot. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Dave Mueller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
Oh,
You didn't get it?
Oh. Okay.
Back sign.
Thank you. Here are some courses that the commissioners should take for emergency management, emergency preparedness. So if you're not aware of this, I just want to pass these down and we can help you make arrangements to get those taken. The majority of that is online. So. And if you already have taken them, if we can get a copy of your certificate, that would be helpful. I did want to mention that I was able to submit the interim report for the ARP funds. And we did do the revenue loss calculation with the assistance of Swindle, Jansen, Honk, and Lloyd. And that calculation for 1 year period based on the formula provided by the Department of Treasury was just over $400,000 for Marion County. So depending on how that shapes up moving forward, I think we have to measure it again at a certain date. We may be able to utilize those funds and for whatever the county needs them for, rather than having to designate them towards one of the categories of the ARP. So. Well, I knew that there were some areas of revenue that were down, but I didn't really think about it being that.
Thank you.
So, okay. Well, they allow in your calculation for a certain growth percentage, and so that is where the majority of that was captured from. So, and in your packet, you have the WIC agreement from Deidre that requires approval. So that was in your packet. Just need a motion and vote to approve and the chairman's signature on here.
I would move to approve the agreement with WIC and have the chairman sign.
Second. I have a second motion by Dave Mueller, second by Kent Becker, to approve the WIC agreement and permit chairman to sign. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. Now, the only other thing here is that's not knowing where we're headed with this. I don't know, you know, if we don't, with health department. Exactly. Come out of this.
They'd still do the program.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Moving right along this year.
Yeah. All things right on.
It takes a week for a month to go by anymore, doesn't it?
I like that. I remember that.
You don't even remember that one?
I won't remember.
It seems like you look at the calendar and it's the first of the month, and the next time you look, it's like the 15th, and you're like, holy cow, it's almost up.
I did just want to mention, we received a COVID dashboard yesterday afternoon, and as of 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, we had jumped up to 41 active cases, 1 hospitalization. So, okay. And then the last thing that I had on administrative before you do your thing, Randy, was the security agreement. And we did receive a red line version from Brad, I got this morning, and so I've made some changes. We just got that printed off just now, so Ashley's making a copy for everyone, so we can look at it and make sure there's nothing in there that's, that everybody's satisfied with that.
On the changes, was
On
that
the-
any big things, it's one way or the other?
It was just some wording changes, really, not anything major. There is no, it was noted that there is no clause in here as far as if we need to, if any of us needed to terminate the agreement for 15 months. that's not in here, so I don't know if that's any kind of a concern for the board, but 1, 2, 3, there's 5, and here's let me read that again, because I did use his version, but I took out,
You didn't tell me to bring my glasses.
no, sorry. It didn't print my changes.
It did not.
Nope. Maybe.
Sound maybe.
I think this is,
No, you didn't print the one I sent you that had the changes in it.
because it didn't have everything. I was trying to amend Brad's to match yours and then
The one I sent you,
incorporate the
you should be able
changes.
to.
Okay.
Well, Tina, would you like
Sorry.
to have some other time? I mean, some time to do this? and-
I would. Maybe if I could have Ashley come in here while you talk about the fair
Yes,
information.
that's
Maybe
exactly.
Steve, would you mind coming back out with me and we can
Yeah,
get it
Make
finalized?
Make sure you fine line it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was just kind of a
Most of
rush
the-
trying to get that
He sent it
done.
at 6:30.
The email I got from Brad, which I think a couple of you got, most of it was like taking out the words of the, like the contractor or the county. And then there was a deal on short days, long days. In other words, in the contract, it was like a day constitutes 8 to 5,
Right.
Monday through Friday, and won't be broken up into short days for whoever's working security. He didn't like the word days, so it says short and long.
Okay.
The part about the county.
I'm gonna take that just a little farther.
Mhm.
You get down here and you can't just come down for 4 hours, is what you're saying. Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah. Let's say 1 month you, as the commission, let's say that, okay, let's stick to the 90 hours.
Mhm.
Okay, it comes out to 24, 23, 22.
Right.
I can't conceivably ask one of these guys to come down for 3 hours to
Right.
fulfill that week.
Right.
So that's why we put it in there. It's big, yeah, so 1 week you might have 3 days and the next week 2.
Yep.
Rather than,
Right.
2
Rather
8-hour
than
days. and then-
partial days.
Yeah, that's what
We
that
have,
was all about.
I think commission understands anything about that effect would be all right, so, yeah.
And then on those days when they don't have 3 hours at the court, you can spend the other 3 hours
Right.
wandering the
right.
building,
That's what I encouraged. Yeah.
visiting with department heads.
Yeah.
Do we need a clause in there about terminate, if there needs to be a termination?
Handshake.
I would think I'd called one direct supervisor, regardless.
But.
No, we're talking about
If we
need
cancel
to
the
end the
contract.
contract early.
Yes.
If he wants to
And you gotta
cancel it,
understand, this,
yeah, we
this
got 30
company's.
days either way.
Well, this company's setting out uniforms, setting out this to, and after maybe after 6 months, I might accept something like that, but I think that's why they wanted the year contract, is to get things
It's just
somewhat.
cost.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna take time to know, to get it, the flow of everything.
Right.
Well, I think some of that was addressed under severability. If you see, it's on 2 or 3, it's actually called, I think, I'm not a lawyer, so don't
Yeah,
kill me.
right.
They call that a severability clause, which means
Yeah, let's see it.
some parts of the contract could be amended without negating the entire, is it not in there?
No, I'm just, there's too many
Severability.
versions that I'm looking
Oh.
at. It sounds good.
Here's the one that I took out, the changes that he wanted. But a lot of that's big words that, you know what I mean?
Boy, that's what I was gonna say, my dictionary's a little low here.
I'd have a hard time determining the severability
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I mean, if there would have to be a termination year and a half down the road, something like that, it might be good if there's a sentence put in there somewhere addressing that. But that's just my
Well,
thought.
if you go a year and a half down the road, then we'll fulfill the contract.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to have a new contract anyway.
Well, right.
For negotiation.
And like you said, the first year, maybe we just need to get a feel for it.
Yeah, see where things need to be changed or something.
Yeah.
The only thing I would even listen to, it would be 6 months or a year that we cannot cancel the contract, and then maybe the last 6 months or something like that, if for some reason, but that'd be the only thing. Just due to the fact, knowing that they set their cost of the uniforms up, and they've got to get paid back on that somehow, things, so. That would be my only thing. Does any commission have any other ideas or comments, or just move ahead, see what?
Well, I would have, if we trust our legal counsel, then
Yeah.
I think we should just move ahead.
I agree to move ahead, 15-month contract. Pending further staff review.
Yeah. Okay.
Contract, and
Okay.
Tina and I talked about, and I'd be more than happy, remember coming down like at the end of this first quarter after
Yeah.
security started.
Yeah.
Come down like I'm here and we'll talk, and
Yeah.
any concerns, we can do that every quarter.
That'll
Yeah.
be good.
Okay, so are you, I
Just as we
mean,
do from other departments, so you don't get quarterly.
So we're happy with the red line version?
What you got, Tina?
I don't think that the red line version is entirely agreeable to Mr. Davis, because Brad added a clause in there that the personnel would have to be certified law enforcement, and that may not be the case. So that piece might need to come out. They would be qualified to hold a position, but Mr. Davis explained that while he does have certified law enforcement at the moment, he may have to use somebody that's military or some other,
Yeah.
and so that clause is not necessarily workable for
I
him.
can't-
talked about that.
I think he misinterpreted that, because I informed him and you guys that I have 3 certified guys that want to do it here.
Right.
But that is not going to be a requirement for the company, because I couldn't find enough, and then it would preclude me from hiring somebody that's had previous security experience or ex-military.
Okay, you just said it, I was gonna tell you. I've wore the badge for 23 years in the city as a reserve officer, so, but I've never kept up on anything, I mean,
Right.
I got out of it in 99, and that's
Right.
been it, so. But if you found somebody to that effect, you probably might be interested in it.
Heck yeah.
Well, I'd give them a leg up.
Heck yeah.
Interview, so.
Yeah, so.
Right, so that
so
part
that's-
on the red line version would be taken out.
Yep.
Um,
I think we were talking about certification of firearms certification.
Yes, that is a requirement to come. Yeah.
Yep. Agreed. But that's something you can do in-house, so that's not.
Yeah, that's a company issue, that's
Yes.
not a county issue.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
So actually, that they would provide the qualified personnel
Right.
Yeah, that's what we need.
is all that we should say.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think that was the main part
Right.
in the red line version that wasn't.
And I think,
accurate
is the
or correct.
commission good with that, to what we just discussed, so Tina can pass it on to Brad?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think what we need to do now is,
Make a motion for the chairman to sign pending staff review.
I think they want to sign one today, don't you?
well, that's why Mr. Davis came,
Yeah, right.
so that he
Make
can
the
go ahead and
changes.
sign
I
it.
think Tina
so-
has to make the changes, not Brad.
Sign it.
What did you
Brad's
say,
out of
Dave
it.
Bueller? I didn't-
Have Tina go ahead and make the changes and you sign it.
Okay, so if I can have that few minutes,
Yeah.
and then Ashley can come in here, we'll get a version that looks better
Okay.
to
Yeah.
everybody.
That'll work, you guys go ahead and do that, and see what everything, because we're just gonna discuss Fair Board for a little bit, I've got a
Okay.
call and stuff, so.
Okay, thank you.
And it's gonna be on 501c2,
Gives them
so,
that way like,
yeah. I've had a call from the Fair Board president,
that way to, get some.
Gotta get a note taker.
oh, yeah, yeah.
I ain't keeping notes.
You ain't?
No.
No.
Who's the fair board president?
Oh.
Need some care, I send, actually, somebody.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Too much things going on this morning.
Wait a minute. No.
Okay, everybody behave, I'm here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't miss nothing yet. What I'm doing is looking up a name here for, and his first name, and it should be Brian, I think.
Frank Unruh used to be the Fair Board president.
I don't know if they changed.
Brian, Fair Board president. Does he work for
Glenda?
Marty? Glenda?
Brian Clayton?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he works for Marty.
He was on the fair board, so,
Yeah.
I mean, they rotate so often.
Okay, the phone call I had is from Brian, and I just put Fair Board President, I didn't put his last name on. But they're working on a 501c3, and they've got donators, but they won't donate unless they are a 501c3
Right.
board. And they would like to
It's
set up
good business.
they'd like to set up their own. Right now, I think since they don't have theirs set up, they've started some, but they haven't got very far with it. They've had a member of the board say, nobody will ever get it accomplished. So I guess that's a challenge to Brian because he's really after it and want to do it. I said I would, if Brad was here today, I would talk to Brad, see if the board would accept having Brad help them. Yeah, Dave?
Actually, there's another avenue, they can fall under an umbrella.
Yeah.
Why not fall under the umbrella that's already doing several cities? And who is the foundation down there?
Hillsborough Community Foundation.
Yeah, that is
Hillsboro's
what-
got more than one 501(c)(3).
That is what I think they're doing that, but I think they still want their own at this time.
If they want their own, that's.
They just have to get a lawyer to do it.
Yeah, and so that's expense to them.
It's
Yeah, it takes time to get one of those done
It's a
too.
lot
Yeah.
easier than an umbrella.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm coming to you today, because the last time I talked about one's been a while, and so I'm just sort of asking what everybody's opinion is. But I think they're doing that for this donator they're going to run some cement out over there, and there's some people donating for it, and so I think they're going through the community foundation.
Okay.
They are going through that, I think, right now, but he asked me to pursue this, and so I said I would get back and give him a call, sort of how the board felt and where we could go with it, and
Probably need to consult with Brad before we
make a decision.
do anything, yeah.
But, like you said, if things can flow through that board, community, which it can, we know it can.
A lot easier for them.
Yeah, they
Save
don't have
them
enough-
quite a bit of money.
Annually, it'll save them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Takes quite a bit of paperwork to get one set up.
Any other comments that we?
Just going back to the old vaccination clinics, using that space, I know we own the buildings, but we did use the lights, we did use the just stuff that's there, that's an added expense. I didn't know if we needed to throw however many clinics we had, a certain dollar amount for building usage, just to.
I think we can make a good faith gender, some sort of amount, and some sort of amount that we need to come up with, and just donate it. I mean, but did we do that at Tabor too? They offered it. I would like to do both ways if that's what we do. I'm just saying that's what I'd like to do. That's not what the board would like to do. And I will continue with the Fair Board deal. Also, we discussed that use of that last building on the west side, and we would have to get together with them, see how many meetings and things they have annually to bring income in there. I said, I don't know what the co-op's doing yet, their final plan, but I said, we need to probably move forward with something to make it easier to, if take you over there and show you how we've got trailers angled in and stuff over there right now, to show you that we need sort of a straighter approach. And they get it in and out, but it's tough. And so he was open to that too, to listening to us, to maybe attend one of our meetings and present something. So if that's what the commission would like to do,
Who's he?
Brian, the Fair Board president.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
talking about the fair board.
Yeah, Fair Board,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought we were talking about the trailer.
Well, we are, but I mean, storing them over there where we tried, and it works well while we was doing code right there.
It might be good if at least two of us would attend one of their meetings. Tell them to email all of us.
Yeah.
We could see who could go. That way
Yeah.
we'd have a better feel for it, because there's nobody sitting in front of us.
Right.
It's just
They use it.
electronic correspondence.
Yeah.
It's not the best of stuff.
Right.
And then to tie all that up in a pretty little bow.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt with that information to actually get an estimate on making that north door bigger.
Yeah, so we can drive straight through, yeah. If we continue that, yes, I would agree with that 100%. It looks like, I looked at it from the north side there, and it looks like it can be done, it's just a matter of doing it again, so.
Well, I would want input from Brad on what if any effect it would have on the relationship between the fair and the county. If they went to a 501(c), would that affect us and anything that we do with them?
That was a question by Brian, that was something he was
So I
interested
think we need to clarify that before we move forward, but it'd be nice if a couple of us went to, whenever, I don't know if they have a quarterly meeting, I doubt if they have monthly, but
and that
they
would,
just tell them to email us through the county or whatever.
yeah. Okay. So,
Is there any way we can get out of keeping that antenna and that, as far as 6-county area? Isn't it?
Stuff about the 911 emergency.
emergency trailer?
Yeah, can we give it back to the government
No.
so they don't have to store it?
I think it's ours.
That's ours.
But when they want it, they call for it.
I know.
Yeah. That was sort of the agreement that we signed, Dave, or understood when we took it, that it
That we
was,
store it for nothing?
yeah, more or less, yeah.
That's a good deal.
For somebody, yes. Uh-huh, yeah. But, and we have had, we've had it all this time, it's only been used once or twice. But I don't know if we even called out in emergencies, but the Greensburg thing was, but they took the other one down, I think, from another town. We had 2 of them in the state at that time, and I think they took the other one down in Greensburg for communications. So, we sent some ambulances and stuff that day, but that was about it. So, the commission would like to consult with Brad on the 501(c)(3). And we'd like to have some correspondence from Fair Board on when their meeting is, and if 2 commission members could attend to sort of discuss what we've discussed today, get some feel about it. So I thank you for your time. He called me yesterday, started this yesterday, and so I told him I'd get it on the agenda, we discuss it, and then go from there and see if we can work something out. But I do believe that the commission feels also that maybe once they go through this partnership with the Hillsborough Community Foundation and find out that it's much easier just to receive a check after it goes through them, why maybe they'll have different ideas because they haven't done it yet. They don't know. They do know some things about it, but they don't know everything. And cost, annual cost, and is a cost to the Fair Board. So if they
The filings.
The umbrella's a great partnership.
Yeah,
It saves everybody.
A little bit to it. I used to handle the 501, and there was quite a bit of month-end reporting. I can't remember, this has been there years ago, I don't know what they charge now.
so
What's going on?
okay.
Well, yeah, I know that.
All righty. So
What they charge is really not that bad. I will just attest to that.
But you have to have somebody that stays on top of it.
Yeah, it really, as far as the community foundation, that they charge is not that
That's what
bad.
it's cheaper to go through
Oh,
the
yeah,
umbrella
yeah,
than do your own.
what I found. Unless you're talking $500,000 or $1 million, then you could probably afford to do something on your own.
long term with the building, long term storage building. Okay. Well, I think that covers what I wanted to cover about with the Fair Board for 501(c)(3). And we will move ahead then with Josh. Morning, Josh.
Morning.
Well, I know we've kind of talked about it in here before about tire pricing. You know, we've done some looking, and I ended up having to write down the bottom part what we charge per tire, and this is some of the other local businesses in Butler County, McPherson County, what they charge per tire and stuff. I'm kind of wishy-washy on it, whether what we want to do. If we want to go up a few dollars, or I know most of our tires come from a few of the local businesses here in town.
This is what Rod's Tire charges me,
Yes.
the consumer.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay. And then we'll charge them back $2. So they're making, I mean, of course, they got to pay for the labor, so.
Yeah, rods, they hire somebody to come in, they would grind us if we had their, you know, if they brought it to us, so.
But find it interesting, you said that another business brings a lot of tires in.
There's a few businesses in town here that bring tires to us.
So are we gonna get to the point where we start riding them again?
Well, I've got a kid and trying to get him on tires and cut tires, and just with me driving truck, I gotta transport them tires to Butler too, myself, so. And that's another point I'll bring up here in a little bit.
Okay, so what I see is Butler County's small implements, 41, large implements, 76, semi 26, and skid steer. Is that what you've got? Implement skid steer down here, $3?
Yeah, implement / skid steers are $3. What we've been talking is what
Semi and other tractors is
$7.
$7, and yet we're paying $40 when we hit Butler County?
Well, they charge us by the ton.
By the ton?
Yeah.
Is ours quartered or anything?
Yes, we
Okay.
quarter ours up.
Okay.
So anyway, I think we pay the $38 a ton. But that's about the safest I feel, going down to about 3.5, maybe 4 tons in a load. Go taking it to El Dorado.
So you're taking a whole load of tires by themselves when you go, you're not mixing it in with the?
No, I can't mix it in because they bury it, they want it separate. So we
Okay.
cut it, we put it in a bin, I load it up on the pickup and that trailer, and I take it down there to them.
And I remember you saying that I remember somebody saying that they stopped that when we used a quarter to throw it right in with it.
Yeah, they did stop us from doing
I
that.
remember that, yes.
Yeah, that would have been probably a rolling time, or maybe a bud.
But I think maybe, yeah. Well, a loader scraper tire is pretty big, and semi-tractor.
We don't
Tractor
get
tire.
many loader scraper tires because some of the farmers, they've figured out that they can cut those and use them as their water troughs.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper from them just to, they have them, they keep them, got one side out.
So is the majority of the tires we get car and pickup tires?
Car pickup, tractor.
And we do get some tractors?
Yeah, we do get some tractors.
But let's talk about how much labor we have then to do that per tire. And do we pay for the labor that it takes to do that with our cost right now, in your opinion?
Just to take it and throw it away?
Well, you
Take,
gotta
cut it.
You gotta cut it.
Take it, cut it, no.
Cause I sit there, I cut a few by myself here one day just to see actually how it runs and everything. I think in 10 minutes, I cut about 5 to 6 car tires. So it's kind of one of them, we probably are right now, but it's kind of a wash.
Is that 4 cuts per tire or 2 cuts?
That's 4 cuts per tire.
4 cuts per tire. Quartered it. I see a lot of brains thinking here. I'd like to hear some.
Well, if you cut, you're gonna have to have more than one guy to cut a tractor tire, aren't you?
It's got a lift on it, and then you roll it over there and pick it up. It'll pick up and it'll lay it down on there, and then it's got rollers and then just,
Okay.
it spins pretty easily.
So any of these prices listed here, are any of those ones bringing stuff to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna see if we raised ours, they're gonna end up raising theirs.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just.
Yeah, we pay $2 for a vehicle tire.
We charge
And other companies charge $5 for a car tire. So they made 3, we made 2. And we had to cut it.
We didn't make any.
Well, we didn't make
Broke
money.
even.
We did.
Yeah, they made $3
They made $3.
to bring it over.
It's good
But
business.
I don't-
Good business on their part, you know.
Well,
That's a heck of a margin. Hey, you know, I guess there's not that many
but
tires.
remember, our tax dollars pays for all this to be transferred down there. Everybody's paying for that. So some things we don't want to make money on, but some things we do want to cover the expense.
Right.
And so,
We should go to $3 on the vehicle tire.
It's gonna make the most change in it. Everything else is.
I mean, if you get
few
too
and
high,
far
people
between.
won't bring
That's a
them in.
majority.
Well, then they wind up in the ditches.
Yeah,
yeah, that's the worst part of it.
because you can't do $5 for that. You wouldn't bring them in for that. I think you do $3 and get away with it.
But yet, when you go to Rod's Tire, you're gonna get charged $5 for 4 tires, or $20 for 4 tires.
And he pays by the time to get rid of them.
And he pays by the
Yeah,
time you get rid of them.
They said he's got scheduled every 2 weeks, they come in and
Yeah.
they load out.
Oh,
Like I said,
the bigger ones have a private contractor comes in and
Yes.
picks up their tires.
Yeah.
Rod's does.
Okay,
does.
well, the volume's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't want that volume.
no.
Yeah, I think Webster's, somebody picks theirs up too, I think. 'Cause they have a big pile and all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
Where does that big contractor, what do they do with it? Do they take it to the landfill?
They
The
grind
one that we done, the Champlin tires, they grind them up and they make the chairs, the benches, play equipment,
Okay.
they recycle, they reuse it. That's the one that a lot of people do use.
So what do they charge us if they pick up our tire?
They charge us that, was it 100 and,
Not so much a ton.
yeah, I know what we sent out was about $3500 or a little more. That ticket just went through, so.
How many tires was it?
I didn't know how many tires count wise, but we was between 15 and 20 ton is what we filled their trailer, and it was completely empty. What we had.
That was the load you asked for permission?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it cost us $3,500?
Yeah. You gotta factor in, what does it cost us for him to run well or two, so.
Yeah.
One day basically wasted. More than that, probably a day prep.
As long as it's, I try to get things ready, I can jump in and go. Takes about a little over half a tank of fuel to go there and back.
So
Pick
tire
up-
weigh 20 pounds or 30 pounds?
About 25 pounds.
When you do this, Josh, is you quarter the tires. We don't have a trailer right now available, but if you had an excess trailer to set around and just work on it as you,
Yeah, just press
so many
on
this
that.
day, so many Friday, and so many next week,
So
and have a trailer to set them in?
We've got those bins, we've got that tall, green bin that goes on that roll-off trailer. That's what they put it in. So, because I don't know how well they would come off on that walking floor.
Okay.
So it comes off, we use that little dump trailer.
Okay. So that's what you haul them away in?
Look your sides on
It's about, when it goes about half full, it's about 3.5 tons, and that's,
it. Oh, okay,
and then,
okay, that's weight limit.
So $10,000. But the volume and how many trips could you make? You mean versus a semi?
mhm.
You're making 5-6 trips versus with a pickup, right? And this Del rated.
Yeah.
And then you dump them out, that trailer, you dump them right there with it.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I just asking,
Yeah.
so everybody knows how things are,
No, that's
how you're
fine.
doing.
That's fine.
I mean, that's
How much
what's
time do
going
they
on.
charge?
$38 a ton at El Dorado.
I hear the brains turning here.
$38 a ton, and you got a semi to haul away about 20 tons?
So that's 50 cents a tire they charge us?
Probably pretty close to it, yeah.
So,
I'm just,
Randy,
what?
this costing us 50 cents a tire for that guy to haul them off. So why do we even bother cutting them up?
Oh, that guy, I think that was $190 a ton. Butler's $38.
That's what they charge, oh,
We should take them down there.
Yeah.
The other guy pays.
$190.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Would you mind Dave, would you mind refiguring that a little bit?
Just trying to figure out what the
It can't
best,
be that easy.
what the best bang for the buck.
Well, yeah, that's,
the rate.
yeah.
And it might be, you know,
It's still $2.
go up
50 cents
a
a ton.
dollar on
And they go
the
up.
tires.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's,
so it'd be cheap for us.
roll it for a while.
It'd be $2.37 for them to haul the tire off.
And you don't have to.
How do you know how many tires?
80 tires a ton.
Oh,
They weigh 25 pounds apiece.
okay. Okay. Well,
This-
I'm just figuring out, I
it's a
wondered how to
ballpark
come.
figure, you know, this
If
was-
it's tires, yeah, car tires.
Oh.
So we need to raise our prices to $3 a tire to cover our expenses. Then we wouldn't have to have a driver on the road hauling tires. That'd save us 8 hours a month for labor on the road. And back and forth.
And you're cutting them still?
No,
Not cutting them?
not cutting. Is
They
that
pick 'em
right?
up, it's-
They just pick them up whole.
Yeah, they pick them up whole.
Yeah, so you save all that labor.
Well, I'm gonna burst your bubble, because Kent and I voted to probably spend $35,000 for a machine to sit there.
Sometimes you make a mistake, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we made a mistake.
We made one last year on the boat dock, you know, so.
Yeah.
We're down one a year.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Sounds like an eBay thing.
No, we could always sell it. I don't know how much that we would recoup.
Or we could keep
Maybe
it.
right now we have value. And there's a lot of stuff there.
Okay, guys. Josh, we're gonna put you on hold. We got a guy sitting here waiting. So just sit right there. Stay right there.
I thought we were getting a
Gonna
free
make
day
you suffer
of
for
security out of the deal.
Oh, that's what you thought.
Yeah,
I
we're
see.
getting a bonus day.
I see, okay. Well, let's prolong this just a few more hours then. That's gonna be a short day for you then.
Based on the price of gas, you've already gotten 2 bonuses.
Yeah.
So, everything's, go ahead and explain.
So we did add in the majority of the red line changes, did not add in the change about requiring to be certified law enforcement. And I think that was basically it.
Well, we took out initially, you and I talked, we took out the county buying the wand,
Oh,
the metal detector. I'm gonna buy that through the county.
yeah, I don't think that was, so that was maybe on the original version that you all saw. And I just had asked him about it, and he said that they're not gonna require us to buy something, so.
That way you can use it someplace else.
Yes, and I can give it to the guys down here and not worry about them. If they break it, if they lose it, it's not your property, it's, yeah.
Okay. Any other changes?
No.
Okay.
I did, on the severability piece, there is a section in there that, it's not under severability, but it's under terms.
Oh.
And it talks about that, we are eligible to extend that, or if we terminate early, but it didn't set forth any provisions, so we just put as agreed upon by the parties. So, it was already in there, but it didn't give any details. Yeah, I can find that if you want me to read that out. Okay, so under,
I think you guys are looking at one that hasn't been changed, so just keep that. in mind.
that's-
yeah, the ones
these-
they are.
These two here.
So
that's-
the-
That should have been in here then, right?
Yeah.
under terms of agreement on the
First page.
on the first page,
I'll get confused.
it says the agreement shall be effective as of the date above and shall continue for a period of 15 months from the date of the contract unless earlier terminated. And in the old version, it said, as set forth herein, but then it never set forth herein. And so I think that's what Brad was wondering about. And so I just added the words, I changed it and put as agreed upon by all parties.
Okay, that worked.
Okay.
All right, now I would accept, do I have a motion now?
Make a motion to approve the courthouse security agreement, authorize the chairman to sign.
Okay, do I have a second? Dave Mueller, second. Jonah made the motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
And Tina's gonna be my point of contact as far as I know, and yours too.
Yeah.
And there are 2 originals there for you to sign, and then he can take one with him.
And any issues that happen, you know, like we get a month into this and you see something that I'd like to see security here on this day, or if we're gonna have something coming up, yeah, just let her know, and I'll let those guys know, and, yeah.
And we're shooting for the 1st of October with the start.
I believe so, sir, yes.
Okay.
On the top line. Well, thank you for coming down and handling this.
Oh, I'll be back.
Oh, yeah, and we're looking forward to it. And,
Hopefully not back because you yelled at somebody, but.
No, and the paper made it very outright what we're doing and stuff last week in the paper, so people will know, and that's positive stuff too, so.
Tina isn't that supposed to be October?
I just put the date we approved it. Because this is the date we approved it, so let's
Do
see.
we have anywhere on there about 1 October then?
Probably not.
Let's put that under general, let's put, I'll put October 1st at the top, since you put the date that you approved it at the back.
We will get this right yet.
Well, I just don't want you to
No, that's, yeah. And the commission approves putting that on the commission, on their start
Terms
date.
agreement says from effective date of,
Right.
That's why I brought that
Yeah.
up. So that means I gotta stay here the rest of the day, gentlemen, and walk
there
around.
you go.
You know, we're pretty nice guys, and even if that happened that way, we would let you go today and then come back to us October 1st. Yeah.
I know you do, but you still wanna have it
Yes.
right.
Yes.
I'm going upstairs after this to see 8th Judicial to see if they have any kind of schedule. We're all working on that.
I contacted them last week, so they were supposed to be getting that deal out.
And so you'll just send me that schedule?
Yep.
Super, awesome.
But you can still go talk with them.
Okay.
That's not,
I brought
See if they present
my face diaper, so I.
Did you notice there's 2 entries into her office? There's lots of funneling.
I changed this, instead of entered into this date, I put effective October 1. It's a little bit messy, but
Thank
hopefully
you.
that's still okay.
Appreciate that.
Very good. Well, good luck with that thing upstairs.
You still got my cards?
Yes.
Yes.
If you got a problem, give me a call or a question.
All righty.
We'll do the best we can do for you.
Tell your.
I got 3 good guys here.
Tell your members beside the one that was here that there'll probably be some commissioners come up and introduce themselves to them so that they know who.
Oh, yeah, I've already, they're encouraged to go meet people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we want.
Yeah,
Cool.
they need to know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in community policing,
Right.
and, yeah. Because that's your best eyes and ears too.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
See you. Have a good day.
All right.
Okay, back to Josh.
Thanks, Tina.
And tire pricing, and I haven't heard any motion by anybody to do anything yet.
Raise vehicle tires to $3. That's one thing I heard.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'd kind of like more information on what our other options are. I mean, as the new guy, I'm kind of intrigued if we can get someone to come in and haul them off. Oh,
That's $175 a ton.
well, I didn't quite get the math. on
Said
that.
190.
Is that 100? Okay, I went off 20 tons.
80 tires per ton,
Yeah.
at 25 pounds apiece.
Otherwise hauling them to Butler, 38.
That we have to pay.
Right, and you're getting less than 4 ton on a load, so the transport cost to Butler and back, flat divided by 4.
Time.
$60 in fuel.
Yeah.
I just got to think about this, road bridges have a truck available, a dump truck, we could just pile on the ground when they get a load. If they'd allow me to borrow it, I could load it up from there and haul it down to Butler too. I'm gonna get more weight down there than I am in that trailer.
What kind of trailer are you looking at, you think?
Just one of their dump trucks, the road and bridges dump truck.
Dump truck.
And then versus that little trailer I have.
But if the road and bridge had a belly dump trailer someday and a semi, we could take a semi load, cut some of the cost.
Cut down the fuel costs.
On a belly dump.
Or barrel
Not
dump.
barrel dump.
Oh,
Barrel
yeah.
dump.
I knew where he was
Yeah,
going
barrel
with
dump.
that.
I
I would
think,
not want to be the one trying to dump it.
no, barrel dump, excuse me, barrel dump.
I knew where he was going on.
Yeah, excuse me, wrong termination, barrel dump. But, yeah, because efficiency of the move, right now, it's all you got.
Mhm. That's all I have.
And would the efficiency be in a dump truck be that much more?
But we still got to cut them up before we take them
Yeah,
down.
yes, yes.
I mean, we've got a lot
Yeah,
of labor cutting.
The big tandem drum truck, you could put a bunch in.
But your fuel's gonna,
Right. Fuel's gonna be higher.
you ain't gonna get 15, 20 miles a gallon.
We not either.
I'm getting 7 miles a gallon with pickup and that
Pickup?
trailer. Yeah.
Well,
So I'm really breaking even on that piece.
Okay.
you'd get close to that with the dump
Yeah,
truck.
yeah, you wouldn't be too far off. I didn't realize Fords with that, chugging that long bus down to.
I would think they would have,
Cheaper to buy out of the gate.
you'd be able to get access to one.
GM takes that much spoil trailer too. I want to get 7 or 8 miles a gallon,
Get a diesel.
and that stinks.
I hear the board say maybe some things on fine lines on what the cost is, and would there be some more study that needs to be done here to see what's the best cost for us?
I'd go ahead and make the motion to up the vehicle charge to $3 per tire. So at least get that part out of the way today.
Yeah, we can see how
I
it works.
have a motion by Jonah and a second by
And you want to
Ken.
raise the rest of them too?
Is there,
I think the biggest impact's gonna be with the
The
vehicle.
biggest bang for the buck's gonna be in
You got
those.
the tire and the rim.
Tire, and we don't get very many of them
Okay.
in there, so.
no,
Let's go that, I just think we need to go that route and see how it works.
Well, I think we shouldn't leave it die. I just think that piece needs to be handled no matter what.
We don't wanna discourage people from bringing them in.
No. We'll be
I have a
taking-
motion on the floor by Jonah, second by Kent. Is there any final discussion, just to handle this right now and still leave the decision, still look at this and keep it, see what's the option, all options are too. But as of right now, just raise the price to $3. All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. Okay, go ahead.
The guy I hired for the truck driver position, here about a week or so ago, he got a letter from Louisiana saying it's gonna be the end of September, beginning of October. Well, now I'm seeing the hurricane coming in, and that's gonna push it back even further.
anything else we can do? I mean, with this, can we help him in any way? I mean.
Well, I thought Brad said there was something we could do to, temporarily get him in. I was kinda hoping he was gonna be here today, kinda pick his brain on it too, but
Would it just be easier for him to go get a Kansas CDL?
you still need your,
yeah,
you still need your
yeah,
birth
yeah.
certificate to do that.
There aren't any other documents he can provide?
I don't know, that's,
Because Brad did mention last week when he was here that there's nothing, if they have to provide their birth certificate, there's nothing he can do.
Right, yeah.
There's
no doubt.
nothing he
Okay.
can do to help.
okay.
That's
That's
So,
not
but
good.
check to see what other documents are or
Passport,
allowed.
a tax return,
No,
what's legal.
but don't you just send off for your birth certificates and get them within a couple weeks?
That's what he's doing.
That's what he's done.
Yeah.
So
That's
he's
how
done.
slow they are.
And that comes out of Louisiana, is what you're
This is where he was.
You have to go
born, I
back to
guess.
where you were born.
I got mine a while back and it didn't take very long, but I also come from a low pop state.
Kansas?
South Dakota.
Kansas doesn't take very long though either.
Wow.
Every state's different, I guess.
Huh. Okay. I didn't realize what the legwork, I thought that was a company that already could get. Okay. Okay.
But other than that, I didn't know if there was anything else, but if there's other documents he could use, maybe that might help him and stuff. I can let him know about that piece of it, so. Other than that, that's all
Are there
I.
any services available that expedite this?
I don't know.
I mean, when I sent mine, I had an option to expedite it. Just, it's an extra fee.
You can go down in person and request it.
Well, yeah.
But you can also ask, most of them have some sort of form or electronic copy of them now too.
You just think that there would be some kind of
Jack, you need to do this.
service that you'd pay a fee for. to
First,
expedite.
went to the DD first, I forgot, you report
Is there any suggestions? I mean, I'd even suggest somebody trying to sit down with help and go through it and see if there's any way to expedite it. You know, maybe there was something he left out, I don't know. But he's born in Mississippi or something.
Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah, this is for the state to, I mean, who's,
For his birth certificate to be
who's
able to,
requiring it?
the states.
State.
State.
No way around that.
State Department of Vital Statistics.
No, it's the Department of Motor Vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, to get your birth certificate.
Well, yeah, anybody trying to get a real ID now has to get their birth certificate and put it all together, get the little star on it.
Mhm. Any final decisions to help Josh out there?
Yeah, you know, advertise the position and get a second person in.
When's Amanda, is she gonna be able to drive?
Beginning of November, middle of
Oh,
November.
it's a long time.
She will be able to drive then?
When she gets everything back.
She's not on doctor's release or
That was just a driver. She's,
If you get very far along this line, you
Yeah.
need to go into executive session.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good catch.
You might be able to do a little research, if it's got access to a computer, just to see if there's any services that expedite those kind of things.
okay.
Well, I think Josh is right, the hurricane's gonna slow.
With his family, is his family still there?
He said he's got a dad down there, but
And he could go personally to the Capitol.
that ain't gonna work. Well.
Hurry up and wait, that's what you need.
Yeah. So like Jonah though, is if there was anybody else out there, I'd like to see a truck driver.
so we wanna advertise for another truck driver and see if I can find somebody in time and.
Yeah, it's no fault of this guy, but if position doesn't come through, it's kind of what the position was for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can still have a job, you'll be on the floor, or you'll be the backup, or something.
I think we need to. I like the idea, because what happens if it don't happen? If it never happens, we're just sitting here waiting. And sorry to this gentleman or lady, whoever it is, that we're waiting on that, but we gotta move forward here and get something done.
Yeah.
So try it again, see if you put it out for advertisement.
Okay.
If, I would ask for a vote by the commission, all those in favor of putting it out for a vote again. Wait a minute, that's my motion.
What's your motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by John. All those in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
So the motion was to advertise for
Truck
a
driver.
truck driver?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
See if we can expedite and get this done, so Josh can do something besides truck
See
driver.
if you're Brad on the ball too.
What else you got, sir?
Just a little update for the noxious weed department. I do have an application for the position. So, interviews today with her. So, hopefully things go good. And I'll talk with Bryce and see if I can't get somebody to drive truck for a week while I help get her trained and kind of show her the steps, and so she can be on her own while I finish out and keep driving. So,
No family members attached?
Nepotism.
No nepotism, okay. Okay. All righty, hope it's good luck with it.
I'm hoping.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I have.
All right,
Anything
thank
else?
you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah.
Morning, Isaac.
Good morning.
I get to say good morning for once. Didn't do that.
Okay. I have a couple of things to go over today. I'll start with some of the smaller stuff and we can end with some of the more fun stuff.
Hey Josh, excuse me, Isaac, would you mind turning your microphone towards you? Thank you.
Okay, I guess we'll start here. Our trash agreement with the city of Florence was up August 1st of this year. That ran from August to August. Last, I think that was late May, we discussed possibly rebidding out the trash service out at County Lake. Something I want to talk to the commission about possibly opening that up to bids, to see if what we're doing right now is the best for the lake, or if there's another option out there. I don't know if there's been any other people in the past interested in bidding this out, but I figured now would be a time to possibly do that.
It has been done before, bid.
Yeah. A year ago. No.
I don't
No,
think
you
we
talked
did it
about it
last
a year
year.
ago and
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
that you wanted to, and then you went ahead and approved the year
Existing.
extension because you needed trash service in the meantime,
Right.
so now we're there again.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's
I felt
expired,
like it was
right?
not long ago.
We discussed
A
it. I
year
think.
ago, yeah.
A year ago.
Wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it may have been discussed again after that, but
For simple decisions here, since it's this time of the year and everything, how about making a motion to approve, I'm just asking for, my suggestion would be to make a motion to approve it, extended the contract till December 31st, and go ahead and bid it out, starting a new contract January 1st, just for suggestions.
Yeah, because you're already
Here.
a month out from the expiration of the old one.
Yeah. Is that a fair idea?
To make
or
it
is
fair with the existing trash service, I don't know how else you can do it.
Would they be willing to do that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, and I know the way that it's set up now is there's two different time periods in the way that the trash service is ran. So right now, from April through September, It's on once a week pickup up to 30 dumpsters. And that right there is $495 a month. And then it changes from in November through the following March, they pick up to 5 dumpsters twice a month. So I don't know, even if we could just run it through the end of the, well, I guess that's only 1 more month. So yeah, maybe December 1st would be the best way to do that. Because I know, yeah.
I'm almost of the feeling that just
Renew
it. Where I am.
Okay.
And I've talked about getting bids, and then a whole year went by.
And just slipped by and, yeah.
They've been doing it for quite a number of years already.
Yeah, I think so. I know we've been doing it since I've been here.
Well, I would accept a motion to that effect. I just throwing ideas out because we needed to, if we're gonna do that,
We
we need.
really need, we need to do that in July.
Yeah, yeah.
Or June.
Yeah.
Really, June is when you need to do that, next June the 1st.
What about the boards and you remember?
June 1st.
Yeah, Florence, or the Marion County Lake trash contract, June 1st.
Might not be a bad idea to put it down.
I make a motion to renew the contract for the county.
We have a motion on the floor to renew the contract with the City of Florence.
That's a 1-year contract.
It's a 1-year contract.
Second.
Second by Dave Mueller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. Unless, did I hear you, Dave?
Yeah.
5-0.
Now, if somebody else comes beating down your door saying they can do it for a better price, then make sure you bring that back.
Put in your
No,
note, put in your
June
notes.
1st, June 1st of next year.
June
Yeah.
1st of next year
Yeah.
to
Come back and tell
bring
us.
it back.
Yes.
So Isaac, then are you gonna contact the city for an extension of that
I can do
agreement?
that, yeah, I can do that.
Since we already approved it, you can just sign it.
Okay, next thing, for the chili cook-off, which we have coming up the first weekend of October, and Brad might need to be here for this to be decided. I've been approached by a gentleman, he's a resident out at the county lake, and he's done this before, I think at the state fair and a couple of other fairs. He brought me the idea of, we do the chili cook-off, the car show, and a cornhole tournament. And he came to me with the idea of doing, I guess it's called like a car smash. Pretty much you set a car up there, people pay $1, $2 to swing a sledgehammer or a bat to hit a car. He said he would he'd get the vehicle, he'd bring everything out, he would run the whole thing. All the money that he gets just gonna go 100% of it's back to the lake, back to the event. I told him I wasn't sure with liability and stuff with that. He said normally what the events do, where he has done it in the past, is they have some sort of liability waiver that everybody that comes in that has to do this has to sign. And I told him, I'd bring it up. It's something that we could add to the event, but I wasn't sure there with the liability if it was something that the commission would be interested in allowing us to do during that event day or not. I wasn't sure what was all involved or what would be involved in cleanup to make that possible. And that was the other thing, he does all cleanup. He said he would haul everything off, he would clean everything up. And so he said that would be no extra work for us.
Used to have one every year, 4th of July, big one,
Electrical tech department, Flatlanders used to do it every year. It was the same thing, then diesel tech would set a motor up, drain all the fluids, take bets on, everybody put in a ticket, basically, money, and how long that motor was gonna run without any fluids. And winner took the pot,
Do I hear a yay? Do I hear a nay? Or do I hear a yay with checking with liability?
Yeah. One thing I would bring up is not really sure with culture, right? You know, it's kind of more of a down in the holler thing. Is your chili cook-off, does it fit?
That's what I was gonna say, is that a fit for a chili cook-off?
Well, I think it would be
I mean, it fits more with the car show.
car show, yeah, and it was kind of like all brought up because it's kind of like the end of the summer, end of the season type of an event, which I think is why it was put on in the first place. It's kind of marks the end of the summer season, and so he talked about bringing out a couple of cans of spray paint. People can spray paint stuff on the car and then get it. And I'm not saying I'm 100% all in or against it. I mean, I'm open to the idea to at least possibly try it. To see if it's something that people are interested in doing or to see if it's worth our time to do. But I just wasn't sure if it was even a possibility.
I mean, the cook-off's kind of a family thing.
Right.
And you bring little kids.
Kids love it. I tell you, for Flatlanders, the kids are the most, that's where you make all the money. It was for the little kids, because the parents give it and just, they never get to hit a car, so.
I'm still waiting for a
Why would you do that, right there on the pavement?
It needs to
Well, I
be the
think-
easiest place to clean up.
Yeah, it would be probably do it there, just to the east of like our office parking lot. There's just it's like a gravelly rock area there, so which is where we would do it.
Is that where people that have parked their boat trailer?
Try to avoid anywhere that's.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, yeah.
do that in the
Yeah.
Yeah, you need gravel rock area.
Hopefully like tar.
Needs to be.
Yeah, I think this sounds like they would.
It needs to be sweepable
Yeah.
area.
The place you can really sweep it up.
Some of that stuff will fly.
Yeah.
It will.
So I take the windows out sometimes.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have glass.
There's still a plastic piece or whatever, and it'll.
I guess we need to get Brad's approval before we can move ahead.
Well, we need to check liability.
I would make a motion to go ahead and approve it pending on staff review.
Okay. Have a motion by Jonah to approve the car smash on staff review. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Dave Crowfoot. Any final discussion? With none being heard, I ask for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Kent opposed, 4-1.
So we need to check with K-Camp
As well.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Yep. Okay.
as part of our,
And most
because I
likely
think
if
that
we
they
get-
probably would have to give special approval for something
Yeah.
like that, if we had to get special approval for a parade.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. With staff approval, that's.
Yeah, that
and
should be
If you
perfect.
come back and put the X on it, the X goes. All righty, keep it going, Isaac.
Yes. Next thing, I've been approached by a couple people here this summer, interested in possibly purchasing the bait machine that we have sitting out in front of the office. We purchased that from Hillsboro Lumberyard when they went out of business here before we got the shop up and running. I think it'd be something that we could definitely get rid of, with having the bait on the inside. We had some issues running it, power going out, us losing product. I do think getting rid of it, we might as well do it. It's sat empty this summer. We tried to put some stuff in it early, and it just, people rather come inside. So I figured, I don't know if we want to try to do something like that on Purple Wave, if the commission was interested in selling it, or how we would go about doing that, but I do have a couple people that have expressed interest in the machine.
Would they be leaving it there and competing against you?
No, they'd be taking it, yeah, it would not be out of the county lake.
What's your recommendation?
I would recommend getting rid of it, selling it.
with that kind of recommendation, will we have a closed bid sale, or and with the right to refuse all bids? Just a date set here, and we open the bids here and see, and then I don't know what we have invested in it, then whether the board has a decision whether they want to sell it at that price to the bid, high bidder, or let's just ask them, or put it on Purple Wave, like was mentioned.
I would recommend putting it on Purple Wave. Ones that we're interested in it can bid on it.
Any other motions? Any other?
I didn't make a motion, I didn't make a suggestion.
Well, I just
Somebody may have a better suggestion.
Yeah.
What he said about it not being at the county lake, that's a nice little contingency that exists with these that may not exist with all. And I don't know how you put that in there, so you got a buyer that's willing to not compete, take it away.
Well, they had to ask permission, we won't give them permission to send it there.
Just, do you offhand remember what we paid for the machine? That's what I thought. You might get a bit of $5 too.
Well, and I didn't know with Purple Wave if you could do some type of minimum or not. I've never posted anything on there. I know we've sold stuff.
Price could tell you,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
outside.
He would know.
We could do bids on it too, as far as that goes. That way you could refuse them all if you wanted to.
That was the reason why I said that.
We always put a bid in at the last minute. Cause you got to pay Purple Wave a certain percent, I think.
Pay on both ends.
Yeah, that's why it's just better to take sealed bids from the locals, businesses.
I'll try this, we'll see if it flies. I'll make a motion, we take sealed bids here 30 days from now, or 45 days from now, on the vape shop, outdoor vape machine at the county lake. That's my motion.
I'll second it at 45 days.
Second at 45 days for outdoor vape machine bid, sealed bid here at the county commission. All those in favor say, or any other discussion?
How are we gonna promote it?
It'll be advertised a couple times in the paper.
We're gonna spend money on advertising.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to,
Don't
we
have
gotta
to.
spend money somewhere. I mean, whether we do Purple Wave or, it doesn't.
But
Or
that
is that
being-
something that ought to be put on the website?
We could do both,
Yeah.
but you have to make it, publicly available, so I would recommend that you do advertise it.
Yeah, at least once or twice.
Just run a little blurb weekly in the newspaper that has a little email or a website. Check this out. Okay, it's all inclusive.
Did we take a vote yet?
No.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? 5-0. So. Isaac, keep it going.
Okay. Next thing, were you able to make copies of this?
I didn't copy it, but they have it in their packet.
Okay. Perfect. We did get, the end of last week, Friday morning, I got sent this dam safety inspection report that was done by Sustainable Environmental Consultants. It's a pretty lengthy report. It's 33 pages. Throughout the report, they talk about kind of what they found, immediate changes that need to happen, recommended changes, maintenance, scheduling, that kind of stuff. I talked to Brian, the gentleman that's in charge here. So, well, we can go over this real quick. Tina, if you want to go to page 9. It's the one that talks about
Maintenance and recommendations.
Section 12, items need
Section 12.
immediate attention.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so this section here, this really talks about the damage that has occurred out at the dam and what needs to be fixed. the first item there, the embankment downstream slope eroded, goalies needed to repair. So that would be the actual slide areas that occurred on the backside of the dam, where that soil and material washed down onto that first little step there, which was what was shown in the pictures originally when this happened. The second item here is the embankment downstream slope diversion berm needs to be repaired from overtopping. So where that sediment washed down, it washed down, and then we have that, well, they call it a diversion berm. It's like the step there before it goes down again. So what's happened is that material has washed down and it's sitting on that berm. Well, that berm was designed to be at a certain angle, so when that water washes down, it actually goes off to the sides, and then there's some culverts there, a pipe on the end where that water can go down. The concern is that that sediment sitting there keeps that water from going down the sides, and it's gonna end up going over and then causing erosion.
Another slide.
Yeah, on the next downslope area. And you can see further down in that, he said talking to Brian, he said the pipe wouldn't have to be replaced, the culvert pipe, but he said he'd recommend go ahead and get that switched over to PVC there. The next item, which brings up a whole nother topic in general, is that framework sitting in the spillway needs to be gone. They do not want that there for purposes of the case that it would wash down. I don't know if we want to get back into the discussion of what to do with that, but that was something that they were pretty adamant about us removing from that area. And I told them that we were kind of discussing on what we wanted to do with it. I know we talked about selling it, and we also talked about using that for a building. I don't know if I need to come back to have that discussion, or what we want to do there. But that was another thing that was brought up. I could possibly make another area out of the lake over by our shop to store that, at least for a short time if need be. And I don't know, I can talk to Bryce about, really don't want to haul it out to the south shop if we don't have to, but that could be another option for a place to keep it for the time being. But that was something that he kind of expressed needing to go. And then following that, he talked about an emergency action plan for the dam. I have sent this over to Randy, and that's something that we're gonna look at possibly doing. If there is one, I can't find it anywhere. They said that they couldn't find anything as far as talking with the state from the past, anything as far as an action plan in case of an emergency. But that's really the immediate things that need to be done. Next, you can kind of see recommendations. Some of them, and I talked to Brian about this, some of them are pretty out there, ideal. They recommended us getting rid of the boat ramp that's there in the spillway along with that whole parking lot and making that all natural. And in the discussion that we had, it's not something that has to be done. That's just ideal for the spillway structure and the dam. But he said all that other stuff, that's all stuff that we can decide whether or not we want to do. It's not something that has to be done. Really, those immediate action items are what we're looking at as far as major concerns.
I think, is there a place right quick like the loader could pick that material up, put it up on top of the hill?
Possibly, yeah.
Is there a spot close? I mean,
Yeah. Well, I think if we could just
get it out of the spillway.
Get it out of the spillway, yeah. I could come up with a spot for it out there. I could.
That's just one idea.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
not saying it has to be. I'm just saying that's a possibility to get it out of the way and not move it very far.
Yeah.
A loader would take care of a simple thing, do it like that.
Yeah.
And so that's one idea, but the idea needs to be determined whether we do want to keep it and save it for building. there's gonna be a cost in that. I mean, there will be a cost to have somebody come weld together and put a pad in, or, you know, either runners to support the set on, and, or a series of, I just seen some deck builders in Marion here that they just come in, drill their 3-foot holes deep and put a pillar in, and this could be done, something like that, at a minimal cost too, to set the sides on, what you do for the roof and stuff like that, but it's gonna cost some money. No matter what we do with it, it's gonna cost some money or sell it.
But short term, get it moved out of the spillway. Yeah,
Short-term.
I would be in favor of having the chairman make a directive to move it up to the top of the hill.
Or wherever it'll fit.
Yeah, or wherever possible.
I think I can do this in like one shot.
I don't know if your blue tractor would pick up one at a time.
Maybe the smaller ones, I don't think it would, I don't think it has.
I don't know about the big
They
one.
don't weigh
You need
that
a high
much.
loader.
Yeah.
Probably.
So,
Our tractors.
yeah.
It's not that
So
big.
is Randy looking into any federal help?
So I know that they were looking into federal help. So the last conversation that we had was that we would need, the state needed another $2.5 million in damages to get federal help.
Well, I know on the FEMA
Yes,
end of
and
it,
as
but
far
I'm
as-
just wondering if there's anything out there federal wise, grant wise for
Or statewide.
repair
Right.
Yeah, or statewide maybe.
or
yeah.
state, whatever agency that could go through.
1937 dam. Is it historical?
Yeah.
I know that
That would be a
the,
dam.
I was gonna say, I know that the pillars on the top are, and I know that the stone bridge side on the lake side is. I don't know if the dam itself is included in that or not. But I do know that the stone structures on the top of the dam are, but I do not know if the dam itself is included in
To
that.
save them, we gotta get the work done down below.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, and
Sometimes that's a nightmare too, because then the historical makes you put it back
Exactly.
to something that maybe disappeared
Was.
a few years back that nobody knows about.
And then I know, so talking to Brian here, our next step on this, the way that this is set up and the way that this is moving. So he submitted this report to Terry Medley with DWR. They looked over it and they have approved it. So the next step would be moving forward with actual repair. So I spoke with Brian about this, and he said that right now before they did anything, they wanted me to come and talk to you guys about this, because we have a couple of different options here. He said they can do whatever we want them to do. But really, he can do an estimate for just fixing those immediate requirements.
On the dam.
Just fixing the slides, just fixing the embankment there to make sure that it's at the right angle, all that stuff is cleaned up, fixing those culvert pipes on the side. He could give us an estimate for that. He said the other thing that he could do, if the commission wanted him to do, would give an estimate of actually repairing, or not repairing, but working on the entire back side of that dam. Pretty much what they're doing to fix these slides, it sounds like they're gonna be bringing in, his plan is, I think, to bring in some rock and some other material just on those slide areas. He said if we wanted an estimate for it, he could give us an estimate for doing the entire dam. He didn't wanna move forward with that until he knew, because he said it's gonna be a lot more time and stuff, which is not gonna, he said for the estimates, we're not gonna pay for that. He's not gonna charge us to do the estimates, but he said it would be a lot of time for them to do that. If it was something the commission wasn't interested in, then he didn't wanna
Is
move
the
forward.
estimate just a guess at what it's gonna cost? Is that all it's gonna be, or is it gonna be a bid from companies to do it?
So it'll be a full, not an actual bid, because they won't actually do the work. And that was the other discussion that we had. He's just drawing up the plans, but it will be a complete set of plans as what it's gonna take to fix
So it would
that.
be an engineer's
Engineers.
estimate of
Yes,
cost.
yes,
And then
yes.
would the engineer then assist the county in bidding out once the board then approved?
Yes.
Okay.
He said if that was something we wanted them to do, that they would do that. He said if we had somebody that we knew, then great, but he said if we wanted help, they'd definitely help. But that was kind of his next step, and he did tell me, he said that he highly recommends, because what they're gonna have to do is once they have that set of plans, they then once again have to submit that over to DWR, or the Department of Ag. And he said that a couple of previous projects from the last couple of years have taken them anywhere from 5 to 8 months to approve. And they cannot do anything until they have approved that. And so he said, really, he needs to start moving forward with it, because once he turns that over, it's just kind of a waiting game for them to get back to him. He said just with short staff and everything that's been going on with COVID, it's just taken a lot longer than it normally has in the past.
And state offices all went back to remote work this last week.
Gotcha. Yeah, and so that was his big concern for me, was just to try to get it moving along, because he said that for him to do the estimates won't take a whole lot, but it seems like for him to get those approvals back from the state, that's been quite a process. But he did ask me just to see if we'd be interested in looking at a whole backside of the dam repair, or just fixing the immediate problem areas.
Yeah, I think we ought to do both. We can get both estimates.
That's what I was thinking.
Because if you're gonna have to be just spotting it back there, it may be easier to do the whole thing,
Yes.
you know, if you're just trying to spot it.
I can make a motion to
Well, okay, make a motion, go
to
ahead.
proceed with getting both estimates of repair, and then also getting the estimate to do the whole backside of the dam.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to proceed with both. You see whether it's, which way to go, whether to spot it or whether to do the whole thing. Discussion on that. Is there any more discussion or any other?
I would second Dave's motion.
Okay, we have a second on Dave's motion. Go ahead with them setting their plans and then getting the cost, so we know how much their cost is gonna be. Dave, is that what you want to
Yes.
do?
Now gives us scope of work kind of, so
Scope of work.
we know what to bid.
What
Right
else
now,
would
we told
need to
Ken to
include
get a
in that
bid,
motion?
she wouldn't have asked for it.
Anything else?
So is the engineering proposing any cost to draw the plans? At some point, I would assume that you will have to have an agreement with the engineer for additional services.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
I don't think so.
um,
I don't think you need anything else.
okay.
And if Brian said if we want him to come in for a commission meeting, that is something that they would be willing to do. And I don't know if that's something that we want to do now, or if we want to get back with him here and then possibly moving forward, having him.
We'd come in and give the estimates, so he
Yeah.
can explain those to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Oh, yeah,
Motion.
come in, once he's got the estimates,
Yeah.
come into the commission.
Right now, I have nothing to talk about.
Okay. So we have a motion to go ahead, and we'd like to add to that motion that, with him to come in and explain his drawings and what the next steps would be
Yeah, sure.
with this dam repair,
With the estimate.
Yeah, because they had.
with the estimate. Have a motion by Dave Crowfoot, second by Jonah. All those in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5
Okay.
votes.
Oh, you know, the fall clock's good.
Ask you again, keep it going.
Okay, and this is the last thing, and this is just as much of a question as anything. On the topic of the dam, and also multiple other historical structures out there at the county lake. To the commission's knowledge, have we ever, and Tina, you might know this, know the answer to this too. Have we ever applied, it's called the HTF, the Heritage Trust Fund through the Historical Society. It's a grant that they do every year. It's up to $90,000 and they will pay 80% of the project. But on the dam especially, is my main concern with that. Both the bridge side and the pillar side, those stone structures are starting to erode away at the bottoms, losing rocks, all kinds of stuff like that. We also have multiple limestone picnic tables that are part of that, the outhouses are part of that, the old trap and skeet buildings were part of that. At looking to apply for this grant for a project like that, I did not know if that was something we had ever done. I found some information in the office. Somebody had done a lot of work digging into it at some point. I don't know who it was, but they have a list of all the things out at the lake that are part of that historical society. A lot of them do need stonework. I mean, they're old, and they've started falling apart. It seems like it's a pretty lengthy grant.
It can win a project.
It's a difficult grant to get.
Okay.
We have applied for it several times for county projects.
Okay.
We did, I believe, we did have an application that was approved when Carol was here. I think it was for tuck pointing, I don't remember what it was for. I'd have to look in the files, but we tried applying for it multiple times for the windows and didn't get it.
What did we get though when we went to Topeka?
What we got was, I applied for tax credits.
Yeah, that was
And
the
then we were
other
able
option.
to sell the tax credits, so that is not as an in-depth process, but the Heritage Trust Fund grant, they have so many projects, and so it's difficult to get. But we had, I don't know that we've ever applied for it for the lake.
And I sort of think, I don't know what all the requirements are, but the night that we went to Topeka to receive for the tax credits, they have so many categories. And this might be something in a category that nobody else applies for. That would be my only suggestion to the commission, that if we did try something, that it may fit a category that's maybe not allowed to apply for, like the general buildings and things like that. So that might be the only thing that I could think of that where it would fall in and stand a better chance than normal.
And then with that with the window project that we were awarded an historic preservation award, that's
Okay.
what.
Yeah, that's what it was, historic preservation, yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I was gonna say, and it might be something that maybe is better, it's due November 1st. And that's kind of why, and I've just started looking into it here the other day, because when this whole dam thing started happening, we really started looking at those pillars, and on the back side of them, I mean, I'm just afraid. We've already had to get one repaired that was hit by a vehicle. But there's, multiple, more with issues than not issues. And trying to find some type of way to possibly get help for funding to repair those. And yeah, as I looked into this, it looks like it's a lengthy application, and I was gonna possibly ask for some help, but I think maybe, it might just be something that try to get by another year, because I don't know if I'd be able to get it done by November anyways.
Well, we can look through the old applications.
Okay, and see. But it is something that I eventually is gonna have to be addressed, are those stone pillars up there on the dam.
My very first suggestion yet today to you would be to go call whoever takes care of the Heritage Trust grant and see if there's any categories that we may fall in.
Okay, and I called them earlier this week, and we did have a short conversation, but it wasn't too in-depth. And I can definitely do that.
Just see if there's anything that you sound like that we may be different in.
Okay.
And what about NRCS with the emergency watershed protection? Would that be a possibility?
Maybe, it very well
Check
could
with
be,
Matt.
because I know that we tried to do that with the actual dam, and because we tried to get help from and they said that they couldn't because it wasn't a federal dam, it was a county-owned dam, but those pillars might be different. I don't know, it seems like all that stuff, with it being part of the historical society, they might be able to help us out on that. I can talk to them about that.
Do we need to get a grant writer to help write that?
If you want, I can continue to look into the possibility of it. I just know, it is kind of a short heads up with it being September and this being due November. And looking through it, it does look like there's gonna be quite a bit involved.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even if you have a grant writer, they're gonna be asking for this information
Yeah,
and that
right.
information, but it might make it easier for you to do that than to.
Yes, right, right.
I mean, it's gonna be some cost.
Right.
Yeah, no guarantee. No guarantee. We applied for it for different things and never did get it, I think, on some things.
Yeah, we've gotten one at one time,
Yeah.
and I don't remember what that was.
Was that the elevator?
Maybe.
Board, do we have a suggestion to how to give guidance?
Well, these are gonna be ongoing issues.
Yeah.
If we don't try, we won't know.
And do we want to rush one for this year, or
Well, and that was
do
kind
we
of,
want to set back and prepare a little better for it?
Get started for next year.
Is there 2 times a year for that grant?
as far as I know, it was
Just
just
once?
November 1st. And then I saw the possibility, which I didn't really look into, the. whatever-
Historic tax credits.
Yes, because that was the other option that they talked to me about briefly, which I haven't really reached into that, but I was going through this, and I think, I mean, if we could get this, we could do possibly more than just the dam, because there's other structures out there that are part of that, you know, the shelter houses and that trap and ski houses.
It'd be
and
nice if
picnic
you could
tables,
tie
if we
a
could just
grant
tie
together
all of them, and it looks like, and like I said, I don't know who started what I found in the office, it was before I was there, but it looks like somebody had started tallying all that stuff together, and like they were gonna apply for this, but I made some phone calls and it didn't sound like anything ever happened with it. But I do think it could possibly be something that could benefit us, because eventually that stuff is gonna have to be addressed. Probably could make it another year without it though.
Suggest that you try to get it done and see, I mean.
I can keep digging on it, yeah.
Get the middle of
Yeah,
October, say
and
it's
see
not
if
gonna
it's-
happen, you can slow down and do it for next
Yeah.
year.
we
If
can
you're
do
gonna
that.
do it for this year, I'd suggest you try to find a grant writer and just say, is a possibility of getting it done by then.
If you're going to do it for this year?
If you're gonna do it for this year. Because they may have, they may look at it and say, we're gonna have more time than that. But it'd be
And I don't know who
check
to,
it.
I don't know who to tell. Do you have any ideas of grant writers around locally to talk to?
Would Gloria down at Skid work on something like that?
I don't know.
South and Central Kansas Economic Development. Her name's Gloria McDowell. She did our CDBG stuff.
I'm gonna put you back on for next week, Isaac, and see if you can find anything out about grants, grant writing, this whole thing, this program, see if you can come back, and we'll talk only about this subject, right? That'll work. Okay? Yep. See what you can come back with.
That'll
Look
work.
for grant writers too, so we'll bring some of that back, if you can, please.
Okay.
Okay. Is that okay, Commissioner?
Yeah, some of those grants, if you do have a hire grant writer, you have to solicit, so you can't just choose one.
Choose
You have
one.
to,
No.
like with CDBG, we had to do that.
Yeah.
We had to, and it was really fast moving, so,
I think that's how this is.
yeah, so just be aware of that. You can't necessarily just choose someone and say, go to town, do it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Don't make it easy.
Well, no, and I'll try to see what I can figure out. I just thought it would be possibly a good opportunity
And if
for
you,
us to
if you
get
see,
some money to try and help
give us a
out.
general opinion from what you hear for next week, so that so we got an idea whether we want to try running, or whether we slow down and take a run for next year.
Okay.
is there any news about the, grant for the heated dock?
Yes, I forgot about that, thank you. So, we did not get approved for it, and the reason for it being was that money had been spent on the project before you started line. And that was talking with them, that was pretty much the only reason that they could not award us that. Yeah, so we did not get that.
I learned that from bankers years ago. Bankers were pretty tough on that. You don't spend money on a project before it starts, right, Ken?
Last time I checked.
It has happened.
Yeah, that's, I learned it the hard way. I really did, just by starting building a house, and then I went to apply for a loan. I didn't like that.
Especially in today's environment where you
Yes.
don't know it's gonna
Yes.
cost.
Yeah. Thank you, Isaac, if that's it.
Yes, that was it for me.
Okay.
And I'll contact the city of Florence about the trash, and I'll call K-Camp about that and see what they say, and then, I'll be back next week.
Let me
All
know
right.
if you need help.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Tina. Bryce?
Bryce?
Morning.
It is good morning.
Still,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on this?
All right, first thing I have is area fuel bids. Looks like the F service was low, only had 2 bidders. F's and MFA. There's some clear on one of them, I guess, because all 3 of them were low on F's, but their dollar figure is more than what MFA was.
No. All right, second, area 2.
Oh, okay, there you go, yes. Gotcha. Okay, so, F's 1 and 3, no. F's is just 1, MFA has,
Yeah, F's is
No.
1 and 3.
1 and 3.
one, okay, geez. It's morning, that's the hour. Okay, so anyway. F's 1 and 3 and MFA 2.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve area 1 and 3 for F's, area 2 MFA.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Dave Mueller. All those in favor of that, say aye.
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 Okay,
We did have 2 bids, EPS and MFA oil. Those are the only 2. So, okay, go ahead. Bryce.
update on the projects. The chip sealing guys are back in at 3/30th. They're putting the first layer of chip seal down. Should finish the first layer of chip seal there, do the second lift hopefully tomorrow. So by Wednesday, by Wednesday night, they should be done, barring any problems. The culverts on 290th and Nighthawk, they hope to possibly pour the base this week, but probably at least the toe walls with a chance of rain coming in and stuff like that. So wait to be seen on what happens there. So we are down patching, doing blade patching is done on Remington, and we are blade patching on 40th and Timber on 60th between Peabody and Burns. And then I think if we can get that done this week, I want to go back and start chip sealing both Remington and that road, simply because if we can finish those next week, these stripers are scheduled to come in the following week to basically stripe all of the Nighthawk, 330th, Remington, and possibly that road all at one time. And then if we get all that finished, then we'll go back to blade patching on some of the other roads, try to get that done. I contacted Terracon about doing some geotechnical information on Indigo. We're gonna go out there and check on what's right underneath the pavement. Just for our information, we're just gonna go roughly on the top foot or so, because the other option is to go like 3 to 5 foot down, which involves a lot more work and time, therefore money. They'd have to have a quarter rig out there. We're just gonna push basically a soil tube down to find out what we got. And that's simply because if we've got problems 3 to 5 foot down, I don't know how we're gonna fix it. Other than digging a big French drain or something that deep and put, in, again, that's, unfortunately, that might be where we're at. But that may tell us a little bit about what's going on. If we do have water there, then what do we do? they'll come out and do the soil tubes, we'll provide traffic control, so hopefully by the end of this month, if we can get it scheduled, we should know a little bit about more what's going on there, or at least what we have down below, so. Let's see. I guess that's it for projects. Unfortunately, with all the work going on, I've had to pull, being short of guys, I've had to pull section guys out to put them in trucks to haul material, so our sections are need a little work, but we're trying to get to them as we can, so. Guess a couple things from the past. Did Brett ever say anything about grass on the roads, or did you guys hear any more, or we were mowing?
Oh, mowing?
Yes.
I haven't.
No, okay. Well, I'm just curious. We've had a couple people ask, it's like, well, do we, so.
Continue mowing.
Yeah.
I mean, unless the board tells me different.
Keep mowing.
Yeah.
Continue.
Just one of those things, but like I said, I don't want
Part of life.
I don't get in some trouble either, so. Doyle Weeby up on 340th and Bison is looking to put in a chicken farm up there, commercial chicken farm. He's applied with all the permits and everything else with Sharon and all that stuff. But the question is he wants to rock that whole area. I wanted to get the commission's decision or whatever else, because if it goes to a new house, typically we've had the landowner provide the first layers of rock, and then we take care of it after that. Does this fall into that same criteria, or do you, I guess I'm asking for your input.
Is that over right there on his home place?
Where?
Right, going south of his home place, up to the top of the hill, about a half mile. About the first maybe couple hundred feet is already rock going by his place.
But it's not south of his house. Rock.
If you go south on Bison, it
Right.
stops at the south house. I'm not for sure which one he lives at. I thought he lived right around
He
the
lives on
corner.
the west side, kind of a long lane running
Okay,
in
so
there.
he's farther down, and I thought he lived right there on the corner.
No.
But anyway, he wants to go he's going from there up to the top of the hill. So I guess I'm just asking for commission input as whether he pays for that, we pay for that.
If you're going from point A to point B, is there a point C farther that needs to go to? I mean, is it?
No, that
It's
up in
turned
there
into
is,
dirt right there.
yeah, pretty much. It would be about 3/8 of a mile or thereabouts that would be rock, so.
And this would be the same as a cattle farm, or not.
Well, I like I said, I just.
Feedlot or something.
It'd be
Be like a feedlot.
Yeah.
Same
thing.
commercial
Yeah.
venture.
Application.
And like I said, with the housing situation, that was always pretty cut and dry, but this one here is really not a cut, but.
Have we set precedent on that?
What's that fall into, like, as far as an ag?
I think that's the question.
Or does it fall into a commercial?
Well, and from what Sharon was telling me, that it's not big enough to jump into the next category or something. I didn't quite follow that, but
Yeah.
anyway, he tells me he's looking to start in October. That's the information.
Start construction of the facility?
Yes. I don't know any more about it, the size or whatever else. He's just telling me where he was going up to.
Well, I guess what we have done probably is offered to build the road up, whether we pay for the rock or not. I mean, to build it and get a road for them shaped up.
Well,
That's the question, is what shape are the ditches?
we have already done that.
Oh.
There is a culvert down at the bottom of the hill that is it's a rotated culvert. Water's been over before, but anyway, we haven't done anything with the culverts yet, but we did go in and rework the road a little bit to provide a little bit better roadway, because it was pretty narrow and stuff to that effect. So, but I mean, obviously the expense of that and time compared to what the cost would be for rock. So, I really don't know. That's why I'm asking for like your president's history, because I've,
I'd have to classify it as same as a feedlot, same as myself, just classify it as a feedlot or as a business. I mean, you was asking if it's a business.
Right.
And,
But we're not rocking to the oil wells, so I mean.
well, and that's exactly, and I guess my question is,
It's a
we
business.
don't, We don't
We're
have
just
to.
talking about rock and
I'm
bison,
looking at taxes too.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not Bison, it would be 320th.
320.
320th west up to top of the hill. Now, we don't need an answer right away. Maybe that's something that we look into, or you could check into that and maybe make this, because I mean, as far as getting, we wouldn't be able to get the rock out the right away anyway, unless we contracted it. But,
Does any of that qualify for putting the concrete base
yeah.
on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We could definitely do that and then put a cap on top of it.
That's clear across the county.
Huh?
That's from
Yeah.
Well,
one side of the county to the other side.
Honestly, you know, this winter time, I gotta go clean up the site up there anyway if our lease runs out in July. More than likely, we're not gonna get, I mean, the next project, even if it was let this fall, which sounds like it's not gonna be, it wouldn't be completed in time to try to do that, so. I need to get the material out of there anyway, but it's one of those things. but-
So explain to me the policy on houses, the county, the landowner or the house owner pays for the first layer of rock, and then the county maintains.
Yeah.
And on feedlots, what is the policy?
We've always, if it don't go nowhere, the road don't need to be rocked, that's up to them.
Entirely up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the cost of the hauling is what
Yeah.
it really costs.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like I said, we don't need this decision right away, but we can revisit next week, I guess. Maybe do some checking or history or whatever.
Did he give any idea what kind of traffic will be on?
Don't really know. I think Sharon was telling me what it was, but I don't know. And that may be something we find out more information about it too. So.
Means raising chickens or selling eggs, or you don't know.
Don't know. Well, I mean, it could actually be both. I don't know what they're but which comes first.
Move on, Bryce.
Okay,
Move on.
Chicken or the eggs?
Well, you know.
It's a commission meeting, not a
I got
philosophical.
you, I got you. And we could go on and
Yeah.
on. What was the latest one? Which came first, the grilled cheese or the hamburger? Anyway, so. We just got word that we got both a Kansas Local Bridge Improvement Program open up this fall. It closes on the 8th of October. That is typically a 90-10 funding like we did on Goldenrod, where we can do a lot more things than going through the full-fledged KDOT thing design. Basically, it's up to us, and we just submit to them. So we've got roughly a month to get something in on that, so be thinking about that. And then also we got another cost share that opened up that is due on the 24th of September. So that gives us a little over 3 weeks to get that in. The 80-20 is typically an 80-20 split, or the cost share is typically an 80-20 split.
That's
So
on the bridge?
cost share can be anything.
Can be anything.
Road, bridge, whatever else. The local bridge improvement program needs to be bridge and associated things with that, so. But anyway, something to think about.
For qualifications on that bridge program, I'd like to see it on if we're going for that one myself, I'd like to see it on a rock road that's got a faulty bridge.
On the
I
local
don't care
bridge
where,
improvement
but I'm just
program.
saying.
We have plenty that would be able to fit on that, so.
I mean, I don't know what the rest of the commission feels, but.
No bridges to nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. and-
High traffic.
Yeah. Well,
And-
and what I'll do is I'll look at the bridge inventory, stuff like that, come back with some options.
Okay.
That's what I do, because like I said, it just come out in the last week, and so I just want to bring it up. I don't know if you guys got.
I think we're interested in it, Bryce, just.
Right,
just
honestly,
pick a good road that's heavily traveled
Yeah,
and needs a bridge.
yeah. I think honestly, we almost have to turn in something whether we get it or not. I mean, you can't really not pass up an option if there's one there, so.
Jonah, you have something?
I was just wondering about that critical fracture, second worst bridge. I mean,
The one that we have is the one on Goldenrod, and then we replaced the one on Eagle. That should cover all of our fracture criticals. So we have those in the works. So everything after that should not be fracture critical, but doesn't mean they're any more less than need. So.
there's the one that's 90th.
It's not fractured critical.
It's not fractured.
Okay.
But anyway, I'll, if you guys come up with ideas too, I'll try to figure out what some of the good options would be.
Yeah.
So,
We used to, Bryce, I'll just tell you, when I come into this commission, they used to try figuring out, of course, there was 3 areas at that time, but they tried, that program was pretty well set to where we could apply for bridges. And they tried sort of looking at the 3 areas and then pick one here and one, all 3 areas, to try dividing it out that way at one time. Now we got 5 areas, and that's makes the job a little tougher, I guess. But anyway, that was just some suggestions of.
sure. Well, like I said, we'll come up with options.
Okay.
We've got some time, so.
Okay.
Good. I think that's it, unless you guys had something else.
Bryce and I talked last night about 190th and south of there, block 2 on Nighthawk. Bryce has said there is some things you're gonna do to fix that.
Yes, I did go out there last night after a meeting. I took my probe and I basically put it down, probably a good 2 foot. So I imagine there's some mud right up next to the culvert. So we can dig that out and build it
Most
back up.
likely why that's done that,
Yeah.
on that side.
Yeah.
I hope it's not all 4 sides as well.
No, I really don't think so, because I went to the other side, and from the edge of the pavement down the top of the culvert was like 12 to 14 inches, which is about what we had along one of the other ones. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I just think it was a spot right there. And you know, when they're milling and everything else, they're erring on the side of caution to go over top of them. They don't wanna
Oh,
they don't
yeah.
wanna damage their equipment or our structure either way.
And would you agree with me? I don't see nothing wrong with what they've done up on top.
You know, it's what we did on all the rest of them, and everything is held up. I honestly, I'm fairly confident that everything we've done is going to hold up, because after all the time that it's been out there, you know, covered or not covered, I haven't seen any problems that have popped up.
You
So.
say you're gonna dig it up. When you go to do the intersection, you're gonna, because you're gonna.
The intersection, the 190th and Nighthawk intersection does not go that far south.
Right, but if you dig it up, now all of a sudden you've changed. You know, you got one continuous flow of road, and
Yeah.
now all of a sudden you're going to have a patchwork in there.
Well, what we can do is we can go in there and we can fix it, and we can come back and put our chip seal back over the top of it. I don't think you really hardly notice it.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Well, and then, you know, I was talking to Mr. Dalkey, I said, one of the things we could do is we could go back and put a concrete patch over it. That basically really shows that there's a problem out there. Second of all, it really limits what you can do if you ever try to work on the road again.
Right.
So it's always gonna be that way. And I think we go back and put some good cold mix asphalt, whatever it maybe it is. I like great concrete, and they just finish it off like the rest of the road. I think would be fine. So.
All righty.
White top it.
Is any?
What'd you say?
Said white top it.
White top it, right.
Any other questions for Bryce? Just so the whole commission knows what you did up there on the north end versus the stuff in the ditch. Might explain that.
Yeah, one of the things that we found with this process was the extra material. I've been talking with Darren Neufeld with EDH that did the work on the Roxbury portion up there. Their process actually widened out the road more than what we did, made a bigger base. Anytime you do this kind of a process, you always end up with what you call a fluff, or you gain a little extra material. And so we went up there, we decided to try this up there on 330th. Instead of the contractor blading them off in the ditch, whatever else, we actually decided, I made the decision to, let's just see what it would take to have maintenance to go up there and scoop it up and put it in dump trucks and haul it away. That choice was not a good choice. We will go to plan B or C next time. It was amazing how much longer it took than we thought it would. We did get a good pile of dirt out of it, but one of the options we've thought about next time, if that comes up, is instead of just having them drop it on the ground, is they can actually put a conveyor on the back of their milling machine and load it up into trucks. It wouldn't cost us near as much to do that, you know, and time and everything else, you know. So anyway, that's what we did. Obviously, I don't want to fill up the ditches any more than we have to, but that material will come in handy as long as it's not too much, because when it does rain and set up, we will have some turf shoulders out of it. So, but anyway, like I said, we.
Did you look when you was going out there, and I didn't mention it to you last night, is out here, right, Dave mentioned the grass, you know, is growing up 10 inches away, and that's where the old shoulder was, but right after that, from where the edge of the brush, there's a lip on, mostly on the east side all the way. Now, it seems like the west side don't have much of a lip. And that's holding water right now against the edge, this 10-inch edge up there. Is there?
What we can do is, we've talked about it, is that once we were totally done, we could go back and just angle a blade a little bit and just make a uniform shoulder. Because what they did was they were sitting down on top of the road and just bladed it straight out that way.
Yeah, okay.
Then when they went back and, also when they went back and broomed it, they had a little extra material that come up too. So yeah, we're aware of that. We don't want water sitting there, and the one big rain we had, it showed where it actually made it through there. But that's the worst thing we do, is have water sitting right next to the edge of the road.
Yeah.
So
That's not their responsibility to take care of?
well, it's basically it's a construction issue to where it's really not specifically noted anywhere. It won't take us much to do. And like I said, the other thing that I think will happen is when we get more moisture and stuff like that, that will solidify. Maybe we can pull them up, knock them down, whatever the case may be. I think in the long run we'll have some good shoulders out of it.
Should they have said anything to us, Bryce? I mean, they know how much slough they're going to have on this. I mean,
well, yes and no. I mean, in industry standards, I mean, talking with Darren, he said the same thing. It's typically somewhere around an inch, can be more. Again, it's depending. You're taking such a variable road and everything else and trying to work on it. You know, places you end up with more material, end up being less. And you know, honestly, the other thing is that's something we can specifically note. And most of the specs all around, it's hardly ever noted unless you have well, for instance, on the Cook Flat Strobel report they did in 2018, they were going to build turf shoulders before they did this process. So that basically is, you know, already addressed. And you know, like I said, any of these specs you look at, it's hardly ever specifically addressed. So, okay. But that's something we can work at in the future. And I'm hoping that this process does well, so we can continue to do some more of it. So.
That's what I was really impressed with, the base, and you know, that base with that process really looks like it's something that's going to last long term. And the milling, yes, there were a lot of comments about how much was being hauled off, but at the same time, if you look at the road a week before, there was foot variances in there, from them potholes to the humps. And to come back after they just did the first FDR, man, you know, that was an awesome road. And then they come back and did the milling, and it's the cross slope so precise. So there's got to be a lot, but the thing is to factor that in the next time, to get it hauled off right away with the contractor.
Speaking of 330th, they had the Tampa Festival up there.
Yes.
I went out there yesterday morning, and I was impressed. I assume there was quite a bit of traffic coming up and down there, and I didn't see any problems. You know, so I was impressed to see that. So.
Yeah, you put up a road closed sign, there's more traffic on the road than there was before the road closed.
Yeah, well, and road closed up through traffic means anybody with 150 miles.
It's just crazy. But yes, appreciate the cooperation around that. It all worked out.
And honestly, I would like to say the same thing. You know, we talked to the co-op, we talked to the feedlot out there. I talked to the school districts about all this stuff, and it's really good that just phone calls, emails, Facebook, stuff like that, we can help a lot. So,
Dave, I don't know how it's going to work up there, but Jonah made a comment about it out here just this morning as he come in. And I talked to Bryce last night. The only thing that I'm a little disappointed in is there's quite a few spots where the sheep's foot or the pad is showing through the rock. I mean, you can see it, that it's pretty wavy, and I thought maybe they should have a grader, maybe that should have taken a little more off or something. I don't know. That was the only thing that's showing up through the road down there.
Could have milled more off.
Well, or something, could build or something.
And then we'd have another
Yeah, that's the only thing that I've seen so far.
Yeah, there's, I guess my point is,
It's-
what was it like before?
Oh, it's so much better than it was. And I've had comments, 3 or 4 people email me or text me again, and I can show you on what they've said, so.
Well,
It's not perfect.
But they're happy.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
No, but they're happy.
Is it better than before? Will it last
Yes.
better than before? Will we get long life out of that base?
Talk to us next
Watch
year.
our
That's-
base for a couple of years, make sure we.
We want it as good as possible, but it's not gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
Something else that been thinking about that process, one thing that we could do, because right now, when he's, when they're done with the sheep's foot, he comes back with a blade, and when he's done with the blade, it looks really, really good. But there can be just 1/8 of an inch or whatever else on top of there that he's not getting with the blade, and that's where those marks can show up. And again, you know, that maybe, one of the things that we could specify was go back with a pneumatic roller right after that
Yeah.
would take care of that.
Maybe.
So, I mean, there's so many things that we can address in the future, but.
You gotta remember all these times we put another bid out, right?
Yes.
Keep on the lessons learned.
Trust me. And again, it's, you know, I've talked to Steve and the other guys too about, you know, what were their thoughts on their, and things like that. So those are all things that we can address, you know, so.
Well, and another point would be if it was an asphalt overlay, my
Oh.
guess is that would all have been
That
addressed.
was covered up, yeah,
Yeah.
it would been covered up.
Yeah, you
So
wouldn't have seen it.
You wouldn't have seen it, yeah.
And,
Right.
and you know, I
Right.
mean, they show up now, who's to say down the road that,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you know, that asphalt in the middle of summer right now, it can be 130 to 150 degrees out there, and that stuff may move just, you know, anyway, but, like I said, I'm still, very optimistic that we've got something we can work with.
Any final questions for Brian? Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, these aren't with Bryce, your executive sessions you had. You said after River Bridge, so
Yep.
that's what I thought. I'm sorry.
I don't know whether Kent's got to leave yet or not, but.
I've laid it, I'll go ahead and take care of it.
Okay.
You already called in?
Oh, I got 300 miles to drive, but that's all right.
Either for supper.
I knew the meeting would go a lot longer than we thought.
Yeah.
It always does.
Yeah.
It always does.
First one is executive session. Dave would like to talk about personnel.
Yes.
Okay. Their performance on there. For 10 minutes. Will it take that long or 5, Dave?
5.
5, okay. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-431-9B for personnel matters of non-elected personnel with the board. And Tina, I think you need to stay too, with the board and you for 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, from 11:20 to 11:21 to 11:26. That's my motion. Do I hear a second? Second. Second by Jonah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Fabulous. Awesome.
Okay, everything's on.
Everything's on?
I'm just not recording
Okay.
yet on the meeting.
Okay, out of executive session, oh, so, no.
You're okay.
This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Out of executive session, we're gonna start advertising for the health department position, director, and at the same pay and everything that's going on right now. And if we can get it out for receive bids until job's filled. Is that correct? Commission received
Applicants?
received applicants until the job's filled. Okay. I'd like one more quick executive. Any other comments from the board? I'd like one more quick executive session for personnel matters, for non-executive and non-elected personnel for 5 minutes. Be from 11:29 to 11:34. That's my motion.
Oh, you, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't actually make a motion.
Oh, I did?
You didn't
Okay.
actually read the thing.
Okay. That would be,
And I actually have a personnel matter that I don't know if this is the same one, so can we make it for 10 minutes?
Yes.
It's the same, it's a personnel performance for non-elected, so.
okay. Okay. I move that we recess into executive session or discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel people for personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-431-9B for personnel matters of non-elected personnel. For 10 minutes. Let's make it from 11:29 to 11:39.
With,
Get a second read.
There's a second down there.
Yeah, with you and
Okay.
with the
It
board
wasn't a
team.
motion, but that's-
Yes.
Yes, that's second.
It's still seconding the same.
Okay,
thing.
same thing?
Yeah.
Jonah made the
No.
motion? Who made the motion?
You made the motion.
I made the motion.
He seconded.
Dave seconded,
Dave
okay.
seconded.
Dave Mueller seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll get this thing wrapped up.
Cops are
Okay,
amazing.
cameras
Like a
on.
bunch of felt cord.
And I'm getting the meeting up here, just a second.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Out of executive sessions, no decisions, and we'll move on to, Tina, I'm gonna ask you, do you have any final business that you need to address?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, all righty.
We didn't get the minutes signed, but I'll have you do them next time.
Okay. Public comments, either online or there is no public here at our meeting.
We had no public prior to the executive session either. so-
Prior, so probably not there. Okay. Commission comments, any commission comments? I will make one because I've discussed with Bryce and I've had comments from the public that come in. I was telling you, text messages on my phone, on Nighthawk, that people are happy with what they've got. And so I'm hoping you're gonna get that too up there, Dave, because there's still some little rigid things that they're not real tickled about, but in general, the public is happy with the road, so.
There's a few imperfections. There's been asphalt work for another couple $1 million.
Yeah.
You
It
just see
could
what
have
you
been
got.
perfect.
See what you started with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That way.
I just one observation that I've noticed is as things improve, people expect more.
Yeah.
As things improve, people expect more.
Yes.
So sometimes complaining is a good sign, because they're not complaining about holes that are foot deep.
Yes, yes.
They're complaining about a
Yes.
half-inch wave.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, perspective.
Any other commission comments?
There's a need for a speed limit sign to make a road good. When you got potholes that didn't slope
Yeah.
themselves down.
Yeah.
You don't need signs.
Otherwise, if I hear nothing, I'm gonna make a motion. to
Well, I
adjourn.
just hope that we can continue to move forward with road and bridge. I know that there's some areas that have been brought up that Bryce is in favor of going back to gravel. At this point, I'm against taking anything back to gravel that's already hard surface. Yeah, I know that it's expensive, but our taxpayers pay a lot of money, and I just hate to see us revert back to that.
And what you just said, the best example that Marion County's done, that I've been a part of, is the 3-4 miles east or west of Tampa. When 330th. The other, the trial's still out on 330th from 15 west, but the trial is already concluded, in my opinion, from Tampa to 15. But we did extra there. We did 6 inches, and that's something we've never done in Marion County before. But it's showing some signs of some little flaws, but it's still, there's a lot of traffic on it, a lot of heavy traffic on it.
And I know personnel is an issue.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be an issue,
Yeah.
but
So,
that's where I stand.
Okay. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Tina, these courses, where do we go to get those?
Online.
I will help you get that.